Well, let's get this started. I know y'all are having a good day. I'm having a good time. I love being out there listening to those amazing speakers. So I would love to start off and say, let's give it up for those amazing speakers, y'all. So I'm an actual senior management analyst by profession, but I actually enjoy really helping people level up. So I'm the founder of Next Era Learning, LLC, and L3 Coaching and Consulting. So I've been doing that for probably since about 2012. And in addition to that, I'm an actual strategic intervention coach through the Tony Robbins Research Institute. And so with that, if you know anything about Tony Robbins, it's about breaking those limiting beliefs so that you can break through to your best self. So those are some of the things that I enjoy doing. And as you can tell, there are slides with my hands and needing slides. Remember in Miami, that was a challenge. So I may not be pushing the button to get those slides moving. And so I'm trying to get through this. So my objective is to just really talk to you about my story, my journey to E-Estate, through E-Estate, and where I am today. So with E-Estate, when I first got started, I was actually coming off of a $14,000 loss. Now, I know that may be a surprise to you all. You may not have lost any money in these programs. So in June 2025, yes, I literally, a good friend of mine says, hey, take a look at this. No problem. I take a look. I hadn't been really in the game for about a year, and I decided, okay, you know what? I'll do that. And incrementally, we got up to 14,000. Basically, 90 days, that 14,000 was gone, and I had nothing to show for it. So around that time, I go to Telegram, like I always do. I'm looking at Telegram, and I see somebody named Crypto Mason that sends me a message. I said, don't know him, not interested. Passed on. Within 2 months, I decided, let me open this and see what's going on. Because if you have Telegram, I think you would know as well, if you leave those strangers alone for a week or so, it'll look like a deleted account at some point. Therefore, they're not real. They're just playing games. So I don't entertain those. So over that couple of months, I decided to talk to him. He asked me some questions. I said, okay, but here's what let me throw this part in. That 14,000 that grew to 100,000 in about 90 days. So I was still having trouble getting past that, right? But over that 2-month period, Crypto Mason asked some questions, went back and forth, and I decided, you know what? Let me take a deeper dive. Let me look at this. So the first thing I did, I went to YouTube. Doing my little deep dive, doing my due diligence. I go to YouTube. I found Anthony DeLoach doing presentations. When I saw Anthony doing presentations, I didn't have to think about it no more. It wasn't a question, because I already know Anthony. I know Anthony from a long time ago. We were in DC back in 2023, speaking on another stage. So I said, no, he's quality. If he's doing it, this is something I want to look at. And so I dove in, and during that time frame, I was just going through creating content, doing my particular process so that I could really capture what's going on. Is this something that I'm going to take to my community? And so when you have a community, you definitely want to look at, is this something that I can take to my community? Is this something that matches with my values? Because when I talk to someone about this program, are they going to believe me? Are they going to think that he's trying to sell me something? Right? Or is he all in? Conviction, commitment, right? Dedication. So while I was doing that, I said, okay, great program, I love what's going on, and me and Martin went back and forth. Crypto Mason is Martin McLean, if you don't know. And so we went back and forth, and answered some questions for me. I said, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and sign up. So I get signed up, and I made my purchase, LA Bill. This was in August. So between June and August, I was still, a little bit unsure, but I was still doing the due diligence to make sure that this is something that I wanted to take to my community. And so at that point, I decided that the LA Bill, let's go ahead and get started. So one thing I was doing, which I recommend if you're not doing, when you look at this program or any program, you want to make sure you build that belief, right? Because that's the difference between you being alone or you moving with a team. Because your belief level has to grow in order to move to the next phase. So when I saw the actual daily payments, daily profits kick in, I said, oh yeah, this is the way to go. So that box was checked. I was good to go. Now, as time went on, then I was doing a podcast, I was doing Blockchain Speaks, talk about crypto, talk about blockchain, all those type of things. And so as I was growing that, then I really talked about, I started talking about tokenization because I'm seeing what this program is doing. So I want to take you to 2021 real quick and show you the connection. So in 2021, I was in a program based out of Dubai, and they were all about tokenization. They were tokenizing things like Amazon rainforests. They were trying to tokenize aviation industry. They were trying to tokenize even an actual sports team in Eastern Europe, right? But they could not get it right. It was never profitable. And all we did was talk about nodes and hubs, and it just didn't work. But I said, this is something. And while I was studying the industry and studying technology, I knew that tokenization would be the bridge between traditional finance, or TradeFi, and DeFi, or blockchain. So I said, that's where I need to go, right? And just like Brandon, Ivy talks about all the time, is that river of money, where's the flow going? Where's the flow? So I said, I got to get over here so I can stay in front of this. Because somewhere down the road, somebody's going to get it right. Somebody's going to get it right. So there's three things I want to talk about that got me excited. After seeing those profits, definitely that helps. But there are other things that, for me, made the difference, right? One was collaboration. The collaboration with the top leaders in the industry, that was powerful for me because, like I said, I take a year off and I come back and it's just me. My community was doing something else. I was just trying to get back on board. And so it was great to collaborate with top leaders in the industry. And at that time, Anthony, Daryl, these were key people that I was able to collaborate with, and to this day we still do, right? And obviously there's other leaders that we do as well. And so the second thing was access to leadership. So having that access to leadership, the company leadership, that was critical because I want to make sure that I can take care of my community, and having access to people that make the decisions is key. Because I have a lot of people from overseas that are in my community and they've joined, but they have some access issues when it comes to the verification, just because different countries have some issues like that. And so we've been able to go through that. And I know you guys know Emily. Emily is definitely doing an amazing job. Amazing job, right? Give it up for Emily. So I work with her a lot to get things done. But the third thing that got me really excited was the education. Now, this is before Brandon Ivy came on. Like I said, he came in around November time frame. So I came in there around August, and the education that I got, because I'm on YouTube, I'm looking at Anthony, I'm going through each presentation, I'm making notes, I'm making sure I get this content right before I take it to my community. But I'm gonna tell you, on that Tuesday, that Agent Accelerator, game changer. I'm gonna tell you, when I did get my organization built up, I was like, get on that Agent Accelerator. If you do nothing else, get on that. So Anthony, look, man, nothing love for you. That right there is a game changer. I love it. I love it. It really, really is a game changer when it comes to what's been out there, what I've seen, what I've done, but being in the States, and that right there is absolutely amazing, right? Really set the stage. So those are three things that got me really excited, that got me going. But there is a model that I guess I did want to show. I guess I'm using that. So with the actual excitement and energy and all that, you get to a point where momentum kicks in because you've reached the education, you got the collaboration, you got these things going on. And so I got to a point where I felt like my group was moving, people were joining, things like this. And so I wanted to show this model because these are some of the things that in coaching, they kind of teach you how to create models and formulas and things like that. And so along with my hero coaching model, this model is more for momentum. And I think it's a visual, you can kind of understand what I'm getting at. When I'm studying, when I'm looking, when I'm going through the YouTube videos, I'm trying to build my belief. So my belief level is rising, right? And when I get my belief level up, then, okay, you know what? I see what they're doing, I like it, now I gotta do something. So I gotta get access to this platform. So I sign up, get registered. After I get access, I gotta take some action. I gotta purchase the property. When I purchase that property, I expect something to happen. I gotta get results. They've already told me this is gonna happen. So now, I'm showing that it's actually working. So this process is what I use constantly, and you probably do it arbitrarily anyway. So what happens after you get the results? Who knows what happens after you get the results? Your belief level rises again. You see what I'm saying? So when your belief level rises, your confidence rises, you get more excited. You never did a YouTube video. You never did a TikTok video. Well, I personally haven't. But I will definitely keep watching them though. You know, but what happens is you're excited now. E-Estates has gotten you excited to a point where your belief level has risen. That cycle doesn't stop. So what happens after your belief level goes up? You go and buy another property. When you buy another property, you get better results. If you're making $16 to $19 on one property, you go back and buy the next property, now you're making another $80 a day, then you start making $100 a day. Guess what? That cycle doesn't stop. Yes. When you get to $1,000 a day, you're just part of the cycle. But this is something that I love it because it really explains kind of really the thing that I just automatically just talked about it. And I just said, I think this is the visual for everybody. So fast forward. So as my team started growing, the community is growing, things are great. And I said, okay, let me give you an example of where I literally started as far as building. I had about 3,000 people between a couple of groups, YouTube, Telegram, like this. I sent out information. Out of those 3,000, how many do you think responded? 2. You're close. 1. 3. 3. So I'm just gonna give you something there, right? Yes, I started with 3 people. And it's a whole lot different now. But I'm just saying, it's more quality than quantity, I tell you that. I don't go for a lot of people. I go for people that are serious and want to grow and build and do something good for the community. So those 3 people decided, okay, we'll do that, right? They've been with me for a while, and boom, I got the LA Villa, they got the LA Villa, they said, let's go. We took off. Now, around, it was before 2026. So Crypto Mason comes back on the scene, and Crypto Mason says, I want to suggest to you to be a senior agent. I said, I'm not looking for titles. I'm happy with this program. It is doing amazing. My community is going to love it. It's okay. As a good mentor, he says, let me help you understand what that means. So he did. I said, okay, I accept. So he became a senior agent before 2026. I don't know if it was, maybe November or something like this. So then soon thereafter, that's when Anthony contacted me and said that Brandon Stevenson wanted me to speak in Miami. Now, who was in Miami? Were you guys in Miami? Was Miami nice? Yeah. That was nice, right? So Miami for me was phenomenal. And I'm gonna tell you, there's 2 reasons that just really stands out for me, other than just the great people that were there. The energy was amazing, and obviously location as well. But in that particular event, We build, we talk, we connect with people all over the globe, but I rarely meet them. I was able to meet the person that's been with me probably for a couple of years online, but never met this person. This person was the one person that came to the event and lived in the Icon Brickell. Well, stayed there the time we were there. So she was physically there in that particular residence. So it was just a proof that it's real. And when I got to meet her, it was phenomenal. Because here's why. She was the first person that signed up. She was the first person that put the money in, didn't ask no question, let's go, right? She put her, I think she put $5,000 in and got the villa, and we rolled. So I meet her out there, and today, she is probably the person that has the highest amount in my organization in the program, and she only has 3 people. And only one of them invested. She has close to $100,000 in the program. And she started exactly what I did. That's belief in the system, right? And then after that, we have a few others that did that. But moving forward, I met Daryl Porter out there. Already knew, Anthony and Brandon. So, amazing reunion, just great times. And so many people, it's great stuff. So here's something that's really incredible. Left Miami, and that's when my organization started to really go. And that's when the absolute top leader in my organization, building teams, emerged. You all may know her as Mama Scott. If you've been on, Facebook, if you've been anywhere, and you hadn't heard Mama Scott, boy, look at you. So there's a couple of reasons why I say that. And she's amazing. She's a phenomenal person, and she is definitely a firestorm. But at the end of the day, she's very influential. She got a lot of people that love her. We went to high school together. I've never been in a program with somebody I went to school with. I rarely talk to people back home about anything I do. Anyway, it's a psychological thing. But that was phenomenal to have someone that literally I grew up with in school and to say, yeah, I'll take a look. And she just took off. Here's what's really powerful about that piece of it is her energy was phenomenal. She still had to learn the program. She was hosting events in Longview, Texas before she even knew how to do the program. I'm gonna tell you, I've been in network marketing before, and I understand the dynamics. The first thing, people get excited and they don't know what to do. So they just go out there and do all the wrong things, right? She didn't worry about that. She was like, look, I got this. And she did, believe me. Now, she has over 100 people in my organization, so it's phenomenal. But here's what happened to get that fire lit. After I left Miami, Mama Scott wanted to do an event in East Texas. I couldn't make it because I knew this is early, it's gotta be right. We gotta have the right messaging out there because I wanted her to succeed, right? So I was like, man, I don't think I even called or talked to. I just know that one of the most powerful speakers, trainers, educators, the most selfless people in this industry, and my friend, Daryl Porter, left his home and said, I'll go up there and do that for you. Y'all, man, that's powerful. Wow. That's powerful. We're not in the same line. It was phenomenal because I knew it had to have somebody, and he was the perfect person. Like I said, I don't even think I asked. I think he just said, oh, I got you. Man, that's powerful. That's Kingdom Coach right there. If you didn't know what a Kingdom Coach was before today, that's Kingdom Coach. That was phenomenal, and it really set off my organization, especially out of East Texas, and it has not stopped since. And that's why we have some of our great people from East Texas right back there in the back that made the trip all the way to Houston. So I'm definitely going to wrap this up, but I want to say the last part of this, when we got to Houston, Mama Scott had organized her team. I think she brought maybe 30, 40 people to Houston. Drove what was that, 5-6 hours? Drove all the way from East Texas all the way down to Houston and just elevated her team. Just a beautiful scene. I love it. Amazing stuff, right? So that's the beauty of being in this type of business. But at the end of the day, in Houston, back to Daryl Porter, because I just can't say enough about Daryl. In Houston, the light got me, but I know he's out there somewhere. But in Houston, I got there, and my mentor, sponsor, Crypto Mason, he sent me a message and said, look, I suggest that you take the strategic partner title and be part of that, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, dude, I'm not looking for titles. I love what we're doing. I'm happy with this. And I was thrilled. I mean, because I'm just like, this is working, so I'm good. And then Brandon Stevenson sent me a message and offered me that, and I'm like, oh, man. I said, okay. And I said, I don't know. Guess what I did? Called Daryl Porter. I called Daryl, trusted, believed him, and when I got off the phone, I said, no question, I know what I got to do. Sent a message back, April 24, 2026, I became the next strategic partner with the estate. Thank you. All right, so with that being said, like I said, I don't want to take it, drag it out too far, but I do want to leave you with this information here. So I'm going to leave you with this. We made the journey to crypto, and we stayed the course to tokenization. We didn't know the value of a Bitcoin in 2009 yet. 2026, we will ensure you understand the financial evolution of tokenization. Bitcoin opened the door, blockchain created the technology, tokenization is creating a wave of wealth. If you are looking for a major wave to surf, grab your board and look no further than eEstate, the leader in RWA tokenized real estate. The future is not crypto, the future is tokenized ownership. Now who's ready to spread the word about eEstate?